mic if I can. I like to be able to hear myself better. I have a comment too that before I start my speech, because you gave your opinion. You see, my father committed suicide with a gun. And I have no interest in having a gun, but I have a distrust of the government, and I think people need a right to have a gun. But what people need to know how is to manage their emotions. And I'm here representing emotionology, which is a pathway to happiness and how to keep your happiness. And my topic tonight is about relationships. You see, our thought structures are set up. Our thought structures, by the way, are our organization of our memories. That's all it is. And they're set up to never let anything go. Now think about how that works with relationships. That makes it a little difficult, doesn't it? Because don't they say, you know, you gotta let it go? Well, the problem is that when we meet someone, especially someone we think is going to be our romantic, really important person in our life, we create a future fantasy of what that life with that person is going to be. And it's a fantasy. It never happens like we think it's going to, does it? And our culture is set up to Cinderella, and Prince Charming comes along, and we buy into that. So everybody's looking for their Prince Charming. And when you fall in love, it's just, it feels like you found that perfect person and you can't help but create a fantasy. So what it comes down to is how do you, after 5 years, start over? And I'm going to give you a simplified technique of how to start over. Because we don't just have romantic relationships. Every relationship you have is very unique and special. And we meet somebody and we think they're a certain way, and later we find out they're a little bit different, don't we? Well, did you know that one study said that after 5 years, 85% of the relationships, there is no sex. Well, that's after all the assumptions and all the disappointments, all the kids, all the water over the dam that happens to everybody that is in a relationship, all the disappointment. So you've got to be able to change that. You've got to be able to turn that around. And so you've got to remember that every day you're choosing that person all over again. Every day you're making a choice. And not making a choice is a choice. You got to remember that. So there's a way to start over with any relationship. And this is how you do it. First of all, play it like it was Maud. You know, look at your relationship as if what happened in your relationship happened in The Simpsons, or happened to Prince Charming and Cinderella. You know, Cinderella no longer curls her hair, and Prince Charming is burping and farting around the house. Oh, the blush is gone. So pretend your relationship happened that. See, your hypothalamus, if it happened to something else, lets go of it. That's the only way you kind of let go of it, is if your thinking process here actually thinks it really happened in the movies or in a black and white old-fashioned movie or something. Okay, then the second part of that process is to look at that other person and imagine what are the skills they need so that you wouldn't be a little bit disenchanted. What do they need? Is it maturity? Is it they need more paying attention to, maybe they need reality, you know, what are the skills that person needs? And you sit and make a list. And then you replay your relationship in your mind as if they had those skills. That allows you to give them a new beginning, a new start. Then you look at yourself. And see, we have experience to become as mature as you are now. But you weren't that mature when you started that relationship. You didn't know what you know now. It took that whole 5 years to know what you know now. So if you see yourself back there where you met that person, take this you to go and step into yourself and make a new choice. If you had a new choice, if you could start over, would you pick that person? Would you play it different? Would you, if you had all the skills you have right now, how would you have dealt with that person? And you replay it. And that's how you start over. Thank you.